So I'm just trying to understand something, because the conversation I'm hearing, of course, is about women, and they're speaking on men being providers, okay? And I'm also hearing simultaneously women speak about how men provide as far as their occupation and the type of job they have. And my thing is, a provider, and I'm speaking from experience, a man who is a provider is going to provide regardless what type of job they got. I don't care if they a sanitation worker. I don't care if they a bus driver. I don't care if they a janitor. I don't care if they run a Fortune 500 business. And I'm saying that to say that a man who has the character of being a provider is going to provide regardless of what occupation he has. Meaning that he's going to make sure that his family is financially secure and taken care of. Now, being financially secure and taken care of means that you are going to have the necessities that you need. You're going to have a roof over your head. You're going to have food on your table. You're going to have clothes on your back. You're going to have running water. You know, you're not going to be deprived of the necessities that you need in order to live life day in and day out. Now, that other stuff, the Porsches and the Mercedes and the $500 lace fronts wigs and the, you know what I'm saying, $200 nails and, you know, the iced out jewelry, that's perks, that's luxury. That ain't necessarily providing. That doesn't mean he can't provide for you. You know what I'm saying? It just means that if he has a certain job, he can't give you a lifestyle that you crave to live of luxury. But you best believe you're not going to be walking around here ever worrying about where your next meal coming from, worrying about if the light's going to be on or off, worrying about if you got running water, worrying about if you got some place to stay. That's not going to happen with a man who provides. I really think some women are really confused, because if you go back, you know what I'm saying, into way past us, the men went out and they hunted, they gathered, and they brought it back to the village to feed their family. They wasn't out there hunting for lace front wigs and Mercedes.
And
I'm just saying.
While I'm sipping on my Smirnoff.
That a man taking you out on an expensive date in a nice fancy car does not mean he's a provider. Because I don't know if anybody else knows. See, I'm 38. I came up in the 90s, 2000s. And I remember where men would impress women by taking them on these little fancy dates and pulling up in a nice car and having on the nice clothes. I don't know if other women my age remember that, but remember, like, they would just wind and down a woman, and then the next time they see the guy, he'd be like, oh, my car in the shop, or he used up his little money to take you on that expensive date, or he borrowed some money from somebody to take you on that expensive date. The whole point is you find out that was none of that shit was his. Find out he lived with his mama. He got about 10, 15, 20 kids. I remember in them days, men used to be whole scamming out here, you know what I'm saying, baiting women in with the whining and dining. And I say that, I'm just saying, because that does not mean that he's a provider. Like I say, it ain't nothing for a man to take you to a fancy restaurant if he's just trying to impress you for one night or one day, or, you know, a couple of days, just to get, you know what I'm saying, some of that nookie pie. I just made that shit up, nookie pie. The point is, at the end of the day, like, you can't possibly gain and understand and know the character of a man based on how much money he spends on you. That really don't tell you anything about how he's going to treat you. What it tells me is that anytime he cannot fulfill the needs of you in a deeper way or deeper level, and he's inadequate in those areas, he's going to make it up by spending money on you. That's all. Oh, I'm not attentive to you. Here, go on the shopping spree. Oh, I didn't make it to that special occasion or that special event that you wanted me to go to. I'm sorry, babe. You know, go get your nails done. Oh, you caught me with another bitch? My bad. Let's go on a trip. But at the end of the day, I mean, it's all about your preference. So yeah, if your priority is a lifestyle and just living the lifestyle that you always dreamed and desired, then yeah, none of that other stuff, the quality of who that man is, means nothing. You know what I'm saying to you? Because that's not what you in a relationship for. You're not in a relationship for who the man is. You're in a relationship for what the man can do, and that's the difference. Listen, I believe you, and I believe you, and I'm certain because the way I see some of the girls on these social media apps, how they be so upset and bitter, I believe that's where it comes. I mean, and because think about it, like you right here like, yes, I don't talk to no man unless you can buy this, and you can pay for this, and you can do this, and you can buy. Only to turn out and find out that you thought you had something that you really didn't have. You got scammed. That shit gonna hit your ego, especially if you was ego driven from the first start. Like you was already driven by your ego to get this guy based on what you thought he had, the status you thought he held, and the way he carried himself and he looked. Then to turn around and realize that your spidey senses was off. Now listen, it's nothing to be ashamed of to me, because you know, I feel like it's all happened to everybody, regardless if you was looking at somebody or dealing with somebody based on what you thought they looked like, you know what I'm saying, or based on what they was feeding you and telling you. You know, you might have thought you was dealing with a guy, he all sensual and deep and, you know what I'm saying, intelligent, you know, only to find out that he just got a good talk, got a good mouthpiece, and voila, you know, them panties slipped out. However, I think the biggest thing we fail to realize is a lesson in that. It's a reason we got played and we got scammed. It's not all the guy's fault. It's our fault too, because there's certain things and certain red flags that we didn't pay attention to. People gonna tell you whatever you want to hear, and people gonna show you whatever it is you want them to show you. It's up to us to realize that things are a little deeper than what we try to make play it out to be. Everything ain't just as surface as what you look like, how much money you have, you know what I'm saying, how you talk, how you dress. Like, it's actually the character. And the only way you're gonna realize as a whole, I'm talking about everybody, men and women, the only way we're gonna realize and know who's for us and who's not for us is actually taking the time to get to know somebody. I don't think it's a problem for any woman if you want to go after and seek after a guy who has a certain status and money and wealth and all that kind of stuff. My thing is, that shouldn't be the end all be all. You should be looking a little deeper to see who this person is. And you should be willing to know that what he has doesn't define who he is. And when you see those red flags, don't just accept it just because he got money. Like, keep the same energy you would keep with that broke nigga. I'm just saying.